Evening, everybody, and welcome to the Block 9 podcast. Yes, we're live again Sunday evening, and a little bit of a disappointing or frustrating result yesterday against Cardiff. It was Plymouth 1, Cardiff 1 after going a goal down. We managed to get one back. Tajani finally getting on the score sheet. But yeah, a little bit frustrating. I wasn't there. I've been in London this weekend, back home now, so I'm going to have to lead the gents into a lot of this. Made some notes and I've listened to some things, but yeah, certainly was, just, I don't know. Andy, we were like wanting to really get 3 points from this game. It was another massive 6-pointer, but it's a point is all we came away with.
Well, Cardiff came for a point. They got the point. They frustrated us all day. I think people will say from the 12th minute when they scored, they just were playing all the dark arts and going down the deck, going down the cramp, keep it going down injured. It's all that sort of stuff. And it just, every time we sort of got memento, it just like the game was stopping, stop, start, stop, start. And it just disrupted the whole game. And it wasn't helped at all by the officials, who were very poor, I have to say.
For the second game running then?
Yeah.
Yes, so Gavin, was it a case of Cardiff then doing a bit of shithousery on us then yesterday?
Well, they played in blue. They might as well have had quarters in their jerseys and become Wickham. It was pretty horrific at times, I have to say. Frustrating for our fans. I think the 1,790 odd that came from Cardiff were having an absolute field day. They seem to love every minute of it. I think from minute 17 there was the time wasted began to start, which is fair enough, I suppose. Come for a point, you get a point. They should have had all three. I think there were a couple of chances early. Hazard makes a great save in 4 minutes. We look like we've all been sponsored by a brand of boot that contains lead in the soles, which was frustrating. And for the first 45, I know Merrick said it in his press conference after the game, we looked like we'd just walked off the pitch at Luton, got in the coach, got to the training ground the other end, got a new home kit back on and went straight back out to play. We were pretty horrific. And I have to say, probably the first mistake Moran's made since he's been here in the lineup. I thought we were too leggy. The guys that came on, I'm sure they'll discuss that a bit later, but the guys that came on made a massive impact. And we were far, far better in the second half with a bit of energy and intensity in the press. And in this system, as we all know, if you're not intense in the press, you don't play very well, and that's where we were.
Yeah. So, Marcus, was it a case of too many games in such a short space of time? Again, obviously Cardiff, it's worth pointing out, didn't play midweek. It was only ourselves and Luton that had a game to catch up. And I think it's fair to say that from what I've read and listened to, and you guys feeding back, we were Gavin said, lead in the boots. I think there was some tired legs out there, wasn't there?
I think it was down to a lack of experience from Miron being in the English leagues, because the first 45 minutes they were running like lead weight, nothing there, no energy, no nothing. They were just running on fumes. Like Pukas, he's totally knackered. I mean, you've had all better playing well in the last few games. Why don't you switch it up? The only time it changed is when they brought on someone fresh like Mumba. Totally different. And when you're playing this thing, like Randall playing all the minutes he's playing, he's been running on fumes for weeks.
Yeah. No, look, I think it's, I've had a very few busy days, so I'm feeling tired, and when you're doing a lot, there's only that time to sort of try and rest and recuperate a little bit, Carl, isn't it? I mean, the fact that Luton game was on the Wednesday, even lesser time than usual if you're playing on a Tuesday night, so for Cardiff, to sort of come to the game, a lot fresher than us, with a few more options in their squad than we have, and they came at us, it sounded like from the off, and could have been a few more goals up before they scored their first. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't want to make too many excuses. I mean, Cardiff had a free week. We didn't. We played on the Wednesday. We got back really, really early on Thursday morning, which probably didn't help our prep for the game, because we started off looking really, really tired. We didn't really know what the game plan was. Cardiff came on to us, had a lot of possession. We weren't really closing them down like we have been doing in the last few games against the opposition. We just looked way off the pace. Second half started a bit better. I think their red card obviously changed the game completely because they went again more defensive, time wasting at every opportunity, dropping down at every opportunity, and they knew what they were doing. I think at that point, and obviously when we got the goal back, they were quite happy to sit on the point and just frustrate us because they could probably sense we could come back and maybe steal it with a late goal, which we've done quite a lot in the home game. So yeah, they played the game well. I'm sure if we were the away side doing that at say Hull next week, we would be saying the same. You know,
I think it goes back as well, doesn't it? To we'll pull up the lineup and stuff. I'll share that screen next, but that first goal is so important, and I think the frustrating thing. I was in an RAF museum at the time because the signal wasn't the best, but as soon as I said what happened and Gavin went, Bundu misplaced a pass, I just was like, oh, not again. And it's difficult, but these mistakes, that early in a game as well, you can understand later in a game, but sort of early in the game where you're just not even looking and making a pass and it's like it just causes you, because your momentum, you're in that sort of drive forward and everybody's thinking that, and then suddenly everybody's got a panic. I mean, I've not even watched the goals.
To be fair, Mike, it was a bouncing ball. He tried to hook his foot around it at about rib height. He misses out. Pusac comes in. He should have cleared up. He gets out tackled. He loses the duel.
Yeah.
To put it in Miron's words, which is bloody frustrating for someone who's built like a brick privy and has got more tattoos than Lilo Lil. You'd expect him to smash through that tackle and put it into row Z and we reset. But he lost out. And then the guy goes down, gets the byline, crosses it, and it's a tap in 3 yards out. Done.
Yeah.
Again, would a fresh Pushka be second best in a tackle there? Probably not.
No.
But again, leggy and lead ridden with just no energy, and I think that was the frustrating thing. Everyone jumped on Bundu. Bundu tries to make a tackle, but it's easy mopped up for a fullback or a wing back. Certainly, of his pedigree, he's built like a brick privy. He just smashed the guy and just put the ball into row Z. He loses out, and that was for me the most frustrating thing. And the people around me, as you know, Michael, got back to me not saying poppycock anymore. I had a few words with the referee, the linesman, and some of our players. So I apologise to them and post haste.
No, that's fine. So, look, thank you for everybody that's joined us so far across the platforms. We are on live streaming via my account on X, YouTube, on the Block 9, and also TikTok. So, we're back to our, old original place there. So, yeah, good to have you all. Get your comments in. We've had Sarah who's commented already and agreeing, as I showed earlier, with Gavin on. We thought we were playing Wickham at one point, and also for Tenty, tired or not, one shot on target at home when you are in a relegation scrap is not good enough. Can't disagree with that, really. I think when I sort of saw the stats, and I'll show them up on the screen in a minute, and it was just like, yeah, that's not good. And I think you're gonna, in these scraps, gents, it is difficult because you think to yourself, well, Luton's on a poor run of form, we should, get something away from home, and obviously we did. Went a goal down, away from home, managed to pull ourselves together. I was sort of patient. I felt there was a chance for us there. We got it. Kera Maxi. And then obviously yesterday, I must admit, I was nervous, like watching my phone thinking, come on. But to go a goal down and fight back when we didn't play great, the one shot on target, being the goal, getting that point, that's still massive to keep fighting towards the end. But yeah, I think, Marcus, you said it about, sort of Miron getting that, sort of starting 11 wrong. I mean, yeah, Carl, do you want to take us through your thoughts on the lineup?
Yeah, I was expecting him to freshen it up a little bit. I was thinking maybe, I think that's why he brought in probably Such as a wing back, because he came off the bench against Luton and did quite well. Obviously set up the goal, a bit of height, a bit of strength, and obviously using his long throws now, which we should have done a lot sooner. But yeah, I was expecting a few more changes. Obviously, Callum Wright, he's played quite a lot of games at the moment. He looked well off it. I thought Pukac looked tired. He was not his usual self.
Yeah, he looked tired against Luton.
He looked
Carl.
tired against Luton as well.
Yeah,
I think
noticed that.
these obviously defensive clearances and duels are really starting to take it out of them. And if we're not rotating the squad, which we have now, we haven't got any injuries, then there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing that. I just thought he looked leggy and just completely off it. And I'm hoping that he rests a few of them against Man City to go again against Hull.
Yeah, which we'll talk about that up and coming fixture a little bit later. So Marcus, anything to add to that lineup? What would you have changed, done differently yesterday?
I would have brought on, started with Okbeta, Boateng. I know he said they hadn't had a free week to train him. I would have played him. I would have rested Randall. I would have played Diavy alongside him. And we said on the WhatsApp that we would have all started with Mumba. He adds that something up front, and you can see it. And with Mumba, he's shown the right character for someone who hasn't played in 4 or 5 weeks, which Obafemi needs to take note of, because I don't understand what's he actually still doing at the club.
Yeah.
They should have released him in January.
Yeah, well, he was brought up as in the post-match presser, wasn't he? In terms of sort of, there was a reference, not specifically to him, I don't believe. I haven't listened to it at all, but yeah, the fact that things being questioned, which is disappointing. But yeah, we'll come on to that in a minute. Carry on.
You could tell we played against somebody. You could tell somebody who hasn't played in that week to somebody that was off the legs. It showed the first 45 minutes. All it took was bringing one player on in Mumba, and the game changed. I know they had a red card, but if they didn't foul Mumba would have scored one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So it probably beneficial for us if he didn't foul him and Mumba scored. It would still came out with 11 men, so we had more of a chance.
Yeah.
So that probably didn't do us any favours. Also, the goal that Cardiff scored, there was an handball before that, which hasn't seemed to got mentioned
anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think I remember that being picked up, and the frustration again about not getting the decisions, it's go on.
You also look at Luton. We got a draw against Luton, but I mean, who was the linesman? Stevie Wonder. I mean, he was well inside, you know.
Nah, that's unfair to Stevie. I think Stevie would have sensed that.
Stevie would have. Hey, listen, he'd have touched the braille as it ball sprayed across the pitch and realised there's no straight line going on there. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's look, I think I sort of scanned the lineup when it came through and thought, right, okay, I didn't have time really to think too much on it. But it was, I think for me, when you look at the scores on the screen there, Kara Fotmob, you've got Callum Wright on 5.9. He's played a lot of minutes, and notwithstanding, I mean, I've seen, someone put it in the comments, on TikTok, PL1 Josh, can't understand why Callum Wright gets so much stick, and I do think that isn't just. I mean, he's up there trying to do a job without Hardie, which is not easy. A lot of running around trying to close down on his own, not really sort of getting the balls to him too well. Marcus just mentioned, we had that offside, but he superb run, and then to cause it to disrupt the keeper and get the ball over him for what should have been the goal. So for me, he's run around a huge amount. So tired legs clearly there. The same with Pukac.
I know people go on about Callum Wright, but I don't understand the obsession with starting with Al Hadj. He's completely out.
It's not an obsession, is it? Because it's the first time he started for ages.
Yeah.
He seems to come on before a lot of others. I mean, even up front, he seems to come on before Mumba does and stuff like that. Mumba's shown more than 45 minutes than Al Hadj and Baidu has since they've been here.
Yeah, I think that was interesting, Andy, your comments at half time, where you said Has just didn't look like he was in the game, invisible, something along those lines. I mean, Pilgrim Petey, even Petey saying that even Sorolona looked knackered when he came on. Obviously, you guys would know that better than me, but these players have played a lot of minutes, and that's the problem. We are relying on them too much, but. Andy, like's been said already, there were other options on the bench, so did Miron just get it wrong?
I don't see why he didn't try with Better. It might have been something different. It may not have been any good, but if he's tried something different and given someone a lot of rest, fair enough, fair play. Why not have Mumba in the 10? I thought he played really well on the 10. Al Haj, we were carrying him. It's like having Morgan Worker back on the side, mate. It was terrible.
Yeah, he's been non-existent at Middlesbrough as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Can I just oust an unpopular opinion?
Go on.
As usual. So yesterday on X, all the heads fucking disappeared down the back of the sofa brigade. We're out. Evening, brothers. How are you? Or woes me. We're definitely down. Those players yesterday up front, I've got a lot of genuine sympathy for. Yeah, I said this to Andy before we came on. Right? Yeah, Al Haj needs the ball to his feet.
Yeah.
Right? Not round his throat, not humped 15 metres above his head from the back three. If you look at the stats, the back three, Katic, my new neighbour, got an 8, brilliant. All the back three, I think, were green or star man because they defended really well. But we bypassed the midfield because Randall and Houghton could barely put one foot in front of each other. Randall's speciality of not hitting the target from 18 yards on Saturday twice made me utter a couple of 4-letter words to the people around me at some decibels. One was the one on the first half where it's literally he's inside the D, he's got to hit the target and he puts it wide. The second was the free kick in the second half where it's literally on the edge of the box inside the D and he blasts it wide. And I don't think Randall he doesn't miss the target on purpose, obviously, and Houghton wasn't leggy on purpose, but they were knackered. So saying right at a poor game, he was knackered. I can hear that. But Wright is, if he was a serial philanderer, he'd be the best foundation builder in the business. He'd take them to the pictures, the cinema. He'd take them on dates, walks in the park. He'd get home. They'd say, "Do you want to come in for a bit of rumpy pumpy?" And he'll go, "Oh, I've got to go and make a cup of tea and feed the dog." Right? He would never put it in, would he? Let's be honest, right? He has all the effort in the world. But he just is all right. Apart from Luton side, he hasn't scored since I think the year that we went up 2 seasons ago. So
Shrewsbury, yeah.
Brilliant in the side, and he needs to stay there, right? I'm not dissing the guy, but you've got 3 players up top. Bundu scored some goals and got some good assists. The other 2 are left begging. Al Haj, genuine sympathy. I think he's a baller. But if he's getting the ball around his throat or picking up a scrap from a knockdown, it's hardly efficient to his pattern of style. I sent you both, didn't I? Both Baidu and Al Haj's show reels earlier. They're both brilliant footballers. That's not being used in the right way. Now, I'm not saying that we change our whole style because we've got Al Haj and Baidu. Don't get me wrong. But to diss them, they've been put in a side, playing in a system and a formation that doesn't suit their ability. So dig them out all you want, but it'd be like asking Joe Edwards to go and play the front man as a number 9, knocking it down. I mean, it's not going to work, is it? So
No,
horses for courses is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's it's a valid point. I mean, Andy, can you sort of disagree with that too much? I mean, how would you look at that?
No, Gav's absolutely right. Yeah, Miron's trying to play the long ball quite a bit now, and it's coming over the top to the front men. And he's right. Al Haj is better with his feet, a lot better with his feet, and I'm sure Baidu is as well. We've got to play it to feet. But, we've got to sort of learn how to play that because we haven't been playing it at all. It's been quite a long ball over the top, which Hardie thrives on, and he can sort of take on the control of the score.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. You're absolutely right, Gav, about having it, thrust at Al Haj throat level sort of thing. He just can't control it. He's better with his feet.
Yeah, you've got to have a different. Someone was playing something in the background there, but you've got to have a different type of setup, haven't you? And I think the likes of Baidu, where he's tried Baidu in fairness, more as a sub, obviously, or only as a sub, and hasn't really matured into much.
Or he's played him in a 9 where he's not a 9.
Yeah, but it's looking like he's not quite there, and is he going to be even less out of favour now, which he's starting to look at it. Al Haj is another one that it's almost like what do you do with him? I mean, Bundu, it's I've sort of been critical of him recently, and Gavin, you obviously put up a point on that earlier in the group chat. But I think he is one of those players that will get blinding moments at times in a game, and then really frustrate you. And I think it's those silly little passes or those tired decisions, whatever they are, to sort of cause you, regardless of the fact that others have the chance to clear up, but to concede. And we haven't seen too many of those silly mistakes recently, except for the last 2 games. And I think that's frustrating. But yeah, I think for Callum Wright on end product wise, he has had a couple of chances at goal and hasn't picked one away yet. I think it's coming. I think he's getting better. He was getting better and better when before Hardie got injured. His crossing of the ball was great, but Al Haj just isn't going to work with that sort of, hate to use the phrase, but that hoofball style of play. So absolutely agree, Carl. Anything from that you would have sort of changed up yourself?
Possibly given TJ the start, because I think he's, like he said after the game, he's 80 or 90% fit now. So I would have gone with maybe Al Haj instead of Bundu and resting Bundu for the game. But it's a hard one because it's a must win, and obviously Bundu's been playing pretty well of late. I think he's just missing Hardie at the moment in the channels. He kind of looks a bit lost because when he tries to hold the ball up or gets it and plays it off, there's nobody really in the channels to pass it to. So I think once Hardie's back, I think we'll see the best of Bundu again. But yeah, it's really, really difficult to kind of put a finger on. I think it's just a bit of everything. He's missing Hardie, and people are just generally tired, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just looking at a few of the comments. I'll just go back up to here. Even an accidental pilgrim, good to have you back in. Yeah, week off now will do them all the world of good. I think, absolutely vital. 2 days they're having off before they then get back into building up training. We also know that Miron in his previous post-match was talking about obviously the fact that the likes of Malachi, Boateng and that not being used, and him pointing to the fact that he hasn't really had any training and tactical training to understand the system, and Miron seems to be very hard on this point. I know he came on as a sub yesterday. Come on to that in a minute, but it's going to be good that they'll have that to come back to. Both Pilgrim Petey as well saying again, having Edwards back will make a huge difference, and especially in games like yesterday. And then equally, and I have to agree, I was thinking this earlier on, when Edwards is back, it feels like an eternity since he played. It does feel like absolutely forever. It was does it go back to the Leeds game? I'm just trying to remember when he tore his hamstring. But it does feel like forever. Sorry?
Was it Leeds at home? Was the last game?
Or away, wasn't it? I can't remember. Can't remember what game.
It was a home game because he hobbled off the pitch.
Yeah.
It was a home game.
Definitely home game.
Was it not Blackburn then? Or the game after Leeds?
Blackburn, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter, but it absolutely does feel like a long time ago. Voodoo, good to have you in, Voodoo. Yeah, absolutely right, did score against Luton. It was a great goal. And also, Pilgrim Pete is saying again, apart from the Tajani goal, not one player anticipated any knockdowns. They were all static. And I think that's just, it's an element of heavy legs. But as, Fatenti commented earlier, you've got to really get out there and, at least have more than one shot on goal at home. So let's hope we can sort of, rub that, erase that one as just a one-off performance. But the stats, more possession for us, throughout the whole game, 59-41. Obviously, the expected goals for the stat lovers out there, 0.98 for us versus 1.43 to Cardiff. But sort of total shots 14, but that shot on target, the one goal. I don't know why I'm looking to my left, it's in front of me as well anyway. So 3 shots on target at Cardiff, but it does boil down, as I said earlier, and we all know this, getting that first goal is massive in these games.
Did we not have a corner in the whole game?
Oh wow.
No.
Spot. Wow.
Really?
We did. I think we did have a corner.
Well,
I
must have had a corner.
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we
but
did.
if we didn't have many shots on goal, then, I mean, it's saying total shots 14, but
I'm surprised the possession is as high as that. I thought Cardiff had a lot of the ball, and
no,
not
second
the
half
corner.
we had a lot of the ball when they were
if I click, you can see first half 50-50. Look,
okay.
and second half was
Oh,
more
that's second half,
70-30 to us.
And Mike,
Yes.
Preston at home on the 26th of October.
Yeah.
On the 50th minute was when the last time we saw our skipper.
I mean, have you? Can you add the seconds to that if you want to be
32.
really precise?
It could have been 33, but he managed to jog the last bit just off.
It is going to be so important when he comes. Because we all want to see him absolutely, and it's just the additional energy he's going to add out on the pitch. You know, to the likes of Poulsen, who's been brilliant at sort of getting the everybody organised and geeing them up, etc. Your Katiches, Randall as well. A few others. Everybody is out there trying to put their marker on the game and get us out of this situation. That's for
proper
sure.
leadership out there, won't we? With Joe Edwards back, he's a real leader, Joe Edwards, and he's a player, player, if you like. You know what I mean? He gets alongside the other guys.
Yeah,
and let's be honest, he does offer goal threat.
Yeah,
he's got a goal in him, so he always overlaps. I mean, according to some people on X, his legs are gone, which is utter nonsense. Let
me let you into a little early game secret. So I'll share this on the group. When I got to Diamond on Saturday, about 5 to 10, 10 to 10, the new fitness coach was doing shuttles with Obafemi, Freddie Asaka, and our skipper.
Yeah, remember you saying this? Yeah.
And they were all going at it, and people I was with were already there, and I said, "How long have they been going?" He said, "About 15 minutes." I was like, "Okay." They went for about a 45-minute shuttle and then some sprints the width of the pitch. Obafemi was blowing out his backside and keeled over in our box about 20 minutes later. Couldn't put one foot in front of each other. And then Joe Edwards proceeded to outrun the 18-year-old Freddie Asaka and outrun the fitness coach in shuttles, right? Head down, backside up, getting fit. Now, if that's someone with legs gone, he's outdone an ex-Premier League striker and an 18-year-old whiz kid who's like 6.5 stone dripping wet with a duffel coat on. So he's still got it as far as I'm concerned, and he's hungry, and I think he'll have a lot of value when he comes back. It's just whether that difference of his style is more suited than Saranola getting down wide and getting the crossing, although he didn't do that when he came on Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 pence there. But it's just interesting to see him working that hard behind the scenes when no one's watching.
Yeah. Sorry, Andy, what was that?
I'll say there's quite a bit of background noise. Someone chopping up.
Oh, sorry. It's the wife doing.
Tell her off. Say, come on, 100 lines. What below says you must not prepare food and lies.
It's the crazy wife. He's cutting up Ben's cucumber for bedtime. So sorry for that feedback. But,
Joe.
Yeah, no, I think it's we just cannot underestimate the importance of him coming back. I know, and I sort of think this to myself at times. He's obviously involved within the squad, when they're in the dressing room, etc. Because he's still active as a player there. Obviously he's been back in the training sessions the last few weeks. But it's still the difference out there, is huge. And when you then got, like I've mentioned, a few of those leaders out there trying to, sort of get people organised, sort of celebrate a tackle or a good challenge, which is brilliant to see, even if people sort of call that out as being cringeworthy. I don't care. I love it. They're all there fighting for each other. And adding Edwards back into that mix is just going to add even more of that. And I think with Sorinola, as you said, when he came on as a sub, he looked tired as well still. That guy has done so much in the last few months. It's been phenomenal. And I think coming into, we'll go on to it in a minute, but coming into the City game, I think Edwards being back gives that, opportunity then to sort of, mix it up and have someone that will go in and put a hard tackle in and make his mark, in the game as well. So they know that he's there.
Is he going to play Man City or Hull? Because it looked like when Miran was asked, they kind of said, well, he'll be back for the Hull game. But you wouldn't just throw him straight into Hull in a game like that without giving game time first, would you?
I'll give him a little bit of time against Man City, maybe the last 10 or 15, then get him ready for
Hull. Against Man City, why not?
Yeah, it's. I think you got to. I think after that yesterday, if Miron, I know, sort of just if I just pick up Miron's comment, listen, I didn't listen to the tail end of it, but effectively, obviously, he was sort of bemoaning the fact that we didn't stick to the game plan in that first 45, gave a lot of it away.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's a sign of life, Michael.
But
it's okay.
Who said it's a sign of life?
He does all the time, but it's a sign of life.
It's okay. It's okay. We fix this for the next game.
It's a learning. It's a learning. It's what it is.
Yeah,
Key learning.
It is, but yeah, he was clearly not overly happy. He doesn't show a huge amount of emotion, does he? But
I really like that because he doesn't chuck anyone under a bus. He hints at the fact that someone's had a rollicking up the arse, right? Oh well, it was learning, and we won't do that again. And if the last throw-in of the game. As soon as that happened, I was like, I'm going downstairs back to the hospitality. I can't deal with this anymore. So they bring Such from right back to left wing to set up this massive long throw in the 104th minute or whatever stupid it was.
Yeah.
Thinking, here we go. One last javelin in the box and just cause mayhem and get an absolute shithousery 2-1. And he throws it short to Mumba. So there's two right-footed players on the left wing. The cross goes about 55,000 metres too deep. And the game's over. And you're like, what was that about? So he mentioned after the game, didn't he? And said,
yeah, he wasn't happy.
You set up long and you go short, but that's okay because it's learnings.
We get relegated, but we learn. No, we don't. No, that's a Freudian slip. How dare I make that? Sorry.
All right, Simon, shut up.
To pick up that forum comment from Simon Haller. But yeah, no, it's I think when you've got the set piece coaching as well, and obviously those throw-ins, I think he said, you can throw those balls 60 yards or whatever it was. It's just like you've got to take advantage of that. So but whether or not Sook's just, Mumba might have just been calling for it. He was having that man of the match game. I'd like to come on to Mumba now and link into that. It's like, okay, you just split second change, and obviously it didn't muster too much, because I remember, I think it was Marcus in the comments or Steve was saying, we're not making an effort in this, in these this extra 10 minutes of injury time. And that was disappointing, because I was walking around that museum, I was like, oh, come on, I felt like, there might be a second goal for us in it. And then when I read that, I was like, okay, It's going to end a point. So why is Carl so rude about Miron? I remember...
Anyway. I love you to the end, mate. Absolutely, you make my week every week.
I just got to put that on the screen. So the A-Team-esque video that he did, which was absolutely genius.
By the way, that won the internet for the whole year. Just won it. The whole year is done. Voodoo, even if you have to come on with a mask, I'd love you to come on the pod. It would make my year.
Yeah, he did, so Voodoo did under our original guys at HB Source.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
he did.
With his cryptic messaging Voodoo on who the manager was going to be, which we'll never know whether he was right or wrong, because he never did give up who it actually would be. That was Foster's appointment, by the way.
I thought it was Mighty Mouse. But he's no, maybe not.
Mighty Mouse.
So, but yeah, no, I must admit,
you've got to come back. You have to come back.
Well, so I'll lead onto this segment for something new that we're looking to do. Then, actually, good timing before we do a bit more on Mumba. But so we're going to look to do a few more things. Obviously, we like to bring a little bit of our own style to what we do with these podcasts, with the other great shows that go on out there. So we're going to look at doing a weekly session. Going to call it something along the lines of the Block 9 Live Lounge, on a Thursday night. So we're going to do this at late at 9 o'clock. For those of us that have kids, certainly young ones, myself and Carl in that bracket, and Gavin, it's sort of doing these sessions is right around that bedtime for a lot of people. And we thought, it'd be good just to have a more chilled out live stream where we can deeper dive on a few core subjects, but also welcome anyone to come in that wants to join the live and give their opinion for a few minutes, or wants to join in for the evening, can do that. We'll open that up to everybody, and also any fan that's out there, so we will also look at the league and see what others have done, so we know, we get a few fans, certainly on my TikTok, and Andy does. There's a lot of supporters from other clubs that joining the engagement on there. TikTok's really good for that. So we're going to look at starting that up next Thursday. So like I said, that'll be the Block 9 Live Lounge, 9 o'clock in the evenings. We'll try and stick to that Thursday. We'll see how the weeks go, but yeah, so we're looking forward to that, to bring something different, just a nice chilled late night chat on all things Argyle and football related. So just to let you know about that. So yeah, to come back to Mumba, sort of a player that up until sort of a few games ago, was Argyle's most played player, with minutes, and then obviously fell out of favour in the music sort of style. Spent a last few games on the bench, not even really getting an appearance in some of those, and he came on yesterday and changed the game from what I've been listening to. And I think Marcus, I'll come to you on this one, but it's we wondered how he does fit into Miron's style, with Pukac coming in, and stuff as well, sort of taking up that mantle. It was good that he took all that anger, and as Gavin told us in the lounge post-match man of the match interview, he said he's been pissed off and frustrated with not playing. Potentially, Marcus, has he not channeled that in the right way, which is why he's not gotten really involved too much? And did he then finally sort of click that, right, I just need to get in here and fight for my place? And then he put that performance in yesterday.
I think with Mumba, I think he showed the right character, but I do think that maybe he did have a bit of an attitude problem. Wasn't he one of the 3 players in December that put a transfer in?
Rumour has it, yeah, it was him, right?
The
Alleged Gibson.
So
For our lawyers, allegedly.
You might find out. Well, he's here for the rest of the season, so you might as well just knuckle down. Might have changed his attitude. But with Murin's way he plays, the only position he can play, or he will let him play, is the number 10 role, because he won't push gas as because he's a left-sided player. So there's only one place Mumba can play, is up front.
Yeah.
So, but it's all about your attitude, though. If you get your attitude right, you've always got a chance.
So, Marcus, that position he came into yesterday in that 10 role, yes? Am I right in from what?
Yes.
10
yeah.
today,
So just give me a bit of an insight into how effective then he ended up being. What was he doing that got him that man of the match performance then? Obviously, with me not having been there or seen it.
He was direct, ran on to goal quick, kept the ball, show urgency, not dawdling around. Somebody who basically played like somebody who was really pissed off and had a point to prove.
Yeah.
Hit the bar as well.
Yeah.
Cracking header, yeah, with a really good cross from Bundy.
Yeah. So Gavin, the sending off. What happened in the sending off? That was on 53 minutes or something, I think, from my notes.
I want to say that's Callum Wright. I can't remember who put the ball through, but there was an interchange thing at the front.
Well, he came on for Callum Wright, didn't he?
Came up, so who put might have been Al Hadj then, actually. So ball gets flicked. Yeah, it was Al Hadj. Ball gets flicked through. Foot race with a defender. He's beat him, obviously. Kicked it forward, and then there's 2 defenders there. He just gets smashed to the ground about 6 inches outside the box, probably no more than that, which is a bit frustrating. Why he couldn't have gone down in the box beyond me. But it was late challenge. He was in a goal scoring opportunity. The referee really had no choice. I mean, everyone's saying it was a soft red. Was it? The only soft red I can remember was Matthias Dumbe getting done at Crystal Palace years ago.
Dumbe, what a player.
Oh, yeah, that was class. He was up in the stands with us in 20 minutes, shouting trains. But it was one of those where I think he showed energy. On the ball, he was good. He didn't try and do too many. I'm going to be Pele on the escape to victory and give me the ball. I do this, score. He actually played in the team formation system. He interjected really well with Bundu, I thought, actually. They were playing a lot of 1-2s together. They seemed to know what they were doing and read each other's minds. He nearly scored a header. So him and Bundu interchanged. Bundu went down the right, flicked it across. He got up in between the 2 centre-halves, hit a bullet of a header, and it just smashed off the crossbar. I mean, I think that was his second piece of play. The first was a shot outside the box, which went slightly wide. That was the third piece of play. The second bit was his red card, and the third was a header onto the crossbar. So, he made a massive impact. But as Marcus was saying, he came on with energy and he came on with desire, and he wanted to do one thing, that's take the ball and go forward, which is what we've been doing under West Brom, for example. We did that really well. The rest of the time we hoofed it. He just looked the class apart of anyone else on the pitch.
Yeah, I think, and that goes to prove the fact with him having not played, he's super fit, ready for his chance to come on, isn't he? And he's taking it, which is really good to sort of see, because the grass isn't always greener on the other side. When you look at Whittaker's situation, to be fair, I haven't looked at Gibson too much, but when everybody, and understandably was sort of saying how, it's an absolute massive mistake to let Gibson go. Well, you're not hearing in the chatter anything about we're missing Whittaker and anything about we're missing Gibson because of obviously Katic and Maxi. Yeah, even yes. Has he started for Wednesday yet? Has he done anything much there?
Yeah.
20 minutes on Saturday, he was anonymous.
No,
Gibson's done well for Preston. He's played in the middle of the back three.
Yeah, they lost yesterday, didn't they?
And he's been. I mean, I've watched a couple of Preston games
heavily.
Where the Blackburn game in particular, very, very good. He nearly scored against Blackburn in the box in a bit of a melee. But so that the Preston fans are thinking that he's best in sliced bread. Great, he is a good defender. Is he as good as Maxi?
Probably not.
Katic. No.
Is he as good as Katic? Definitely not. Not a chance in God's earth.
No, it's and that's what's really, really good. So I think Mumba's definitely going to be, putting in a performance before the big game as well on Saturday. I'm going to just go back to the screen share again. Let me go back to here now. I pulled up Argyle's sort of highlights of the game. So for those that have just joined us and not familiar with our live sessions, I will show clips of the post-match interviews, the free ones that go on, and obviously match highlights. Normally it's Sky Sports. I'm not picky, and this time I've gone to Argyle's website. Obviously these are being shown free on there, so I'm not trying to do anything to infringe what Argyle TV are doing. Although, as we were talking just before we went live, I think Carl and Gavin have memberships, and there's obviously a lot more content finding its way on here than would normally and be exclusive to the paid members. But anyway, let's run the reel. Oh God! Did Hazard save that initially?
Hazard saved it, yeah. There you go. Look,
yes.
Look at that.
I agree, Gavin.
Does not lose that challenge. Fit.
Oh, messy. Very messy goal.
Yeah. Came off his
more than enough chance.
His heel, didn't it?
He should have put him on the ball at about row T of the Lyndhurst.
Yeah.
Sorry, hang on. Say that again, Gavin.
I said Pusat should have put him and the ball in about row T of the Lyndhurst.
Yeah, it was
12.
Either way, it was just a really scrappy goal, unfortunately.
Here we go. Randall Cannett, Pondor with or Kel's house with a banjo.
I think that's a really poor shot as well. He should have got a shot on target there.
Yeah. Got by the keeper.
Man, marked.
I'll watch that right from where I sit. I was right behind the sort of bowler's arm on that one. Any decent touch I was in, it was going at rate knots. Here we go.
Bounces up. That off, isn't it?
Yeah. Gutted. What a chance.
Al Haj is a bit lightweight though. No, wasn't Al Haj, was it? Who was it? That was Mumba.
Resulting free kick. Look at that, just outside the box.
Again, I was hoping Puchka was going to take that. I think with his left foot.
Got a score there.
There you go.
I tell you, that's a great ball.
That's Mumba, our big striker.
Yeah. Oh, God!
There was a big pen shout for that. I didn't see it.
I think he was going down anyway, wasn't he?
Was he? Okay. Yeah. And this is the goal. Class.
It took it well because he got nothing back there, didn't he?
So it's really funny. Everyone around me were head in hands going, fucking TJ, what's he doing? Jesus, we might as well put the donkey from the nativity on. Rah, 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 rah. And then 2 minutes later he does that. And you're like...
That's a good chance as well. Took that down well there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did,
So there we go. I think it's certainly, let's just go back to the club. Let's just pull up the. I normally clip these out so they're a bit cleaner in playing them, but yeah, been busy. So, how did the girls get on today?
Drew 2 each.
Oh right, okay.
93rd minute equaliser from Billy Ricky.
Oh God. So
Callum Wright
let's
scored
go.
for them, didn't he?
We'll go. Let's go to Miron's one first.
Can't hear that, Mike.
Can you not hear it?
No.
Ooh.
Sorry, it's only Charlie Price. He won't. It doesn't matter.
So you're not hearing that, no?
No.
Okay. So it might just be it's not streaming. Oh, hang on.
If you unmute it, you might get some.
No,
volume.
to be fair, it was playing on my side until I noticed that. That's why it's weird. There we go. Let's try again. Professional production that this is.
Slick. No, still not
no
playing.
sound.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Oh, okay. Stop that.
Carl,
Right,
I hope
Carl,
Argo means
if
him
we
watching.
play it, Carl can do a really good Miron impression. So, I think if Carl in lip syncs ever like the IRA days with Kim Fane.
Oh dear. What I'll do
BBC
is
News.
I'll go into the table in a second, but yeah. So normally when I play those, I screen clip them, so the audio does work. But I know when you're screen sharing, certain tools won't play. So so that's just what it is when you've not got much time. Accidental Pilgrim again. We could still sign a goal scoring free agent like we did with Andre Gray, but with so few games left, would it be too late for them to gel with the team? I think. That's a good point. I think on both accounts, I think Miron would be concerned by that unless the right player comes up. And the key bit there, finding a goal scoring free agent. Well, if they're a free agent, sadly, unless it's their pass, which is what obviously led the interest with Gray. Yeah.
Do you think Andre Gray would have flourished a bit more under Music?
No, because I think the pace of the style of play for Music, he just wouldn't have had the legs.
I don't know. It's not about the legs, though. It's more about the strength and his body, isn't it? I think he would have, as a backup option.
I agree with you, Carl. I think if like Mike, I know you've got this big anti-Bundu kind of campaign.
Not totally anti.
So last week you were going fucking Bundu. He doesn't actually press.
I didn't swear.
And he doesn't have to press. Sorry, excuse my French. Well, you didn't swear. I did. Right. So he sits back and he guides the tip of the spear, and they go back and forth when we're pressing in our right shape. Gray could have done that, even though he had the hips of an 18-year-old Alsatian.
It's analogy. Love it.
He could have done that, and he knows where the goal is, and he holds up stronger than anybody. He holds up stronger than Tajani, and I don't know the guys up. He took his shirt off in front of us on Saturday, and the inner sleeve because it was all covered in blood from his eye, and even I had a twitch. He is properly ripped, Tajani. He is huge. Like there's not an ounce on him. But even Gray holds the ball up, I think, better than Tajani did. And he knows where the goal is, Carl. I completely agree with you. I think if we're getting crosses in the box, he's going to put his attitude, having seen him on Fozcast, on that interview, I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah.
His mind was better than what it perceived to be from Obafemi at the moment. So.
Yeah, no, well, clearly, no, I'm not. It's the frustration with Bundu. I know what you're saying with the off the ball stuff, and I used to monitor that with Whittaker when he was going through his bad spells at times. But it's very much a case of he's one of those Marmite players where he'll have absolute magical moments, and that ball into Mumba for that header against the bar. The bring down for TJ, to score the equaliser. There's those moments where you are just like, oh, madness. If and you can live with that if he does deliver on those moments in a game, but he's definitely one of those players that like I said, is a bit frustrating on one hand and then awesome on the other. So I'm just going to pull up quickly. Steve's joined us back from work. So
Steve.
Hiya, guys.
So we're just going to just have a look at the table, and obviously, notably, we've got some results that Hull City. It was an own goal from where I saw the live score update when I was out yesterday. They got another one that was then ruled off in the end, but to beat Sunderland and hold on to that 1-0 lead away from home, where they are stronger than they are at home, which is one positive we can also pick up on. That was a killer really, because with the game in hand, they play Cardiff on Tuesday. it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
So I mean, Carl, sort of. I know you put it in the chat earlier, if they win against Cardiff and we lose against them, it's all but done and out. To me, it never is until it really is. But it's certainly the best case for us is got to be a point, isn't it? Even if it pits them both 4 points clear.
Hands down, you want them two to draw when they play each other, because I think if Hull beat Cardiff and then Hull beat us, that takes another club away. Personally, I think that then we've only got one kind of position to play for, which is the 21st. Because I think with our goal difference as well, it's still too much. So
it is.
Again, you're talking another 6 or 7 points again, aren't you? Which we've clawed back a lot in the last few weeks. So yeah, we'll see.
I still think Stoke and Oxford are the ones to watch.
Yeah, I think especially Oxford, their form has been dire.
Well,
I think Portsmouth are safe now, and Swansea with their wins on the weekend. But
yeah, agreed.
Oxford haven't won for 6 games.
No, and what was really interesting, I put it in the WhatsApp group earlier. So the Stoke interview after the game.
Oh yes, I didn't watch it, but I saw you post it. Yeah.
So Robbins has basically said we lost today because the players didn't play the game plan. They've gone off and done their own thing. Very calm about it, very eloquent, right? Did brilliantly. I thought the interview was class, actually. And it needs someone with authority at Stoke, or else coach runs all over him, for those Stoke fans that know that better than we do. But he basically said, if we'd stuck to our game plan, we would have got more out of the game. But the players decided between them that they weren't going to take what we worked on all week, and they were going to do their own thing. I'm loving hearing that.
Yeah, sounds almost like that Stoke City all round at times, isn't it? The managers get, sort of hoofed in and out, hoofed out and brought in left, right, and centre, and sometimes you've got to look deeper within the club, and if players know that, then they're just sort of there taking a decent pay packet and not dying on the pitch for the fans, which is a shame for any team where that isn't happening. And look at Luton, you posted that clip as well. I mean, thankfully for us, Luton got beat by Watford earlier on today, and they were dire again.
It's a shame the games are running out, because Middlesbrough look absolutely dire. I mean, 5 losses on the bounce, as you can see up there in 13th, I think.
It's only since Whittaker's joined, they haven't picked a single point.
Literally. We should have told him a lot earlier.
Thanks for 6 million.
Yeah, well, exactly. And Steve, I'll come to you as you've only just gotten and joined us. But I mean, Derby obviously getting beat as well. It's I know people are still sceptical, and Brad is. I know Gavin and I, comment on him, and we'll have to get him on at some stage if he's willing. But it is that case of don't get too frustrated and panic. Look,
don't panic.
It was frustrating yesterday, and I think because of those runner games, like we said earlier, Cardiff didn't have a game midweek. It was only us and Luton, so they had the fresher side. And absolutely, your tactic would be go at Argyle because they're going to be heavy. If you can get that early goal, that could change the game, and then put a bit of aggressive play and disruptive play into it, and you might come away with something. And luckily, then he came away with a point. But again, that first goal, taking that strategy is important. But I think, Steve, it's certainly Hull it's such a massive win for Hull. But Tuesday night, and we'll come on to the FA Cup game in a minute, because we're talking about players who should and shouldn't start. But it's that Tuesday night this week, Hull versus Cardiff, or whichever way round it is massive, isn't it, for either of those teams?
Absolutely massive. A lot of the games against our rivals, we're all cancelling each other out. I could see that Hull in Cardiff game being a draw.
Yeah. That's It's and if Hull win it, it puts them in a really strong position, and it brings really that last place. Unless Derby can turn it around, Steve, it could be a fight for that.
Derby haven't won for 12 games. Luton haven't won for 12 games.
It's madness, isn't it?
Love it, Scato. Love it. There are teams there that are just in free fall. They're gone. Head's gone.
Yeah.
We're more suited. We're more suited when teams come at us, like the Middlesbroughs and the Sunderlands and that. Yeah. When they come at us, we're we're more suited to that.
Well, I thought, Steve, what was interesting when we had the stats up earlier is for the Cardiff game. You know, in the last few games, and most of those games previously where we've done well, you know, except for the Blackburn game, but the possession was still the same, really. You know, it's been like a 70-30 split against Argyle on the possession because, you know, we don't mind, and he doesn't mind the opposition having the ball. You know, if we can high press them and force them to make mistakes, and then, you know, we pick up those mistakes and get the goals. You know, and I think when a team like, you know, Cardiff came at us early on, so probably in that, you know, first 15 minutes, you know, around the goal, you know, as we've said, they had probably the best of the chances and could have scored more, but then afterwards, then they just sort of sat back a bit, and, you know, with the possession being sort of more that 60-40 or even 50-50 at times, that's where then really we're not able to capitalize. Here's a big question. You know, our club's starting to suss Miron's tactics out and playing and adapting to it. Marcus, I'll go to you on that one.
No, I don't think so. I think we was on a roll until Hardie got injured. I think that's what's affected us more than anything else. And also, secondly, some right crooked refereeing that stopped us on a roll.
Don't get me on that one, mate. I tell you.
Well, go on, Andy. Come to you.
Andy, go on.
The officials in the last two games have been absolutely appalling. You know, that goal that Wright scored up at Luton.
And they've been all season.
Oh,
yeah, but also that wasn't also people don't realise that wasn't a foul on when Bundu did against Blackburn when it was 0-0. So that could have made a difference.
Yeah. Could have made a big difference. But yeah, the officials haven't been helping us, have they, really?
Randall's doing too well. Obviously, he lost the ball again. He's trying to do too much instead of playing the simple pass.
Yeah.
Rest.
No. Well, look, let's then move on to the big game showing up there next. Man City on Saturday. They lost to Liverpool this evening 2-0. I didn't watch all of the game. I don't know, Gavin, or if anybody else here did. But, you know, Liverpool looked, you know, their best as they have been recently, obviously, except for, I mean, maybe Man City should have watched our game.
Are we the only team that's beat them in a while?
I think so.
There's only us and Forest, I believe, that have beaten them.
Forest beat the 3-0, didn't they? Something definitely.
Yeah, and that was an interesting game. 1-0 up to Forest, and then literally in the space of 10 minutes, they were 3-1 down, then 4-1 down, and then it ended 4-3. What a game. I didn't see it, but I had it on. So, but yeah, no. So, look, if we park the Man City one briefly, obviously then it's Hull on that Tuesday, and then obviously we're at home to Sheffield Wednesday, you know, a big game with Wednesday doing all right. You know, Portsmouth, this one really, really worries me with the form. And in fairness, I mean, look what's happened to Portsmouth, and they were rock bottom for so long. And then the last 3 games, I think they've had 3 wins on the bounce. That's now got them, you know, Jamie on TikTok, that's been on a few of our sessions, you know, was very distraught, you know, recently. But look, they've got themselves out of trouble. Then another massive 6-pointer. They're all 6-pointers, I think. Derby at home, you know.
Guys,
and then,
by then, Derby could be done and dusted. So
yeah, it could well be.
If you
Let's
look at
hope
all
not,
of them,
because you know what happens when they get done and dusted. If they're actually relegated, then actually they just start playing, don't they? You notice that the teams at the bottom when they get relegated.
Last year, we beat them 1-0, didn't we? But that was only because they literally their mind was on Marbella in June already. They were not interested at all. And looking at the Derby skippers, no, it wasn't Mendes Lang. Who was it? It was one of the midfielders got interviewed after the game today, and it was, we just need to do better. Yeah, we're trying, we're doing everything we can. It was just another example of the Luton one I sent you. They're done. They're cooked. Everything they do turns to ratchet. So.
Yeah, well, I think there is winnable games here, you know, away as well. It's gonna be an up and down, you know. It'd be nice to then finally go in. I mean, when we look at after Watford, you know, what we've got there afterwards, you know, but there's still a lot of points to play for, and I know our away form, you know, would dictate that we're not going to get much from that at all.
But last 6 games.
Yeah, but it's a
Well,
different squad, and I
it
think
is.
a good result against City, which we'll go on to now, could be massive in
I tell you
that.
what,
So
I've got
Our
more
home
confidence in
games.
those last 6 with teams that are going to come at us and play attacking football than I have the ones where we're playing against Derby and Hull and all the guys around us. Because Coventry at home, I think we'll lick our lips for that. They'll come down and think that's right. We'll put another £5.
Do we know when Hardie's back?
say again, Marcus.
Do we know when Hardie's back?
Should be
Mid March apparently. Another couple of
be
weeks.
for the
2 weeks time, they reckon.
Pompey game is the outside. Well,
Target,
Pompey game's
right.
worst case, and the game before that, which is
Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday's best case.
Yeah. So no, I think there's
He'll miss Hull and the FA Cup game basically, which is what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's still a lot of points to grab. I mean, Coventry Lampard's done superb there. When you're talking about ex-players, it's Matey at Watford again today. It's sort of there's players that can do it, but obviously that changed for them, timed it perfectly, brought him in, and it's turned their fortunes around, hasn't it? So yeah, there's some exciting ties for sure. So
Do you think we'll go all season and not win away?
no.
You think we'll get that win somewhere?
Hull.
Yeah, I think it
We'll
will come.
beat Hull.
I think it'll be Hull.
Worst,
I think we'll
worst
win at
home-
Swansea. I think we'll win at Swansea as well again.
Yeah,
Hull's home form is atrocious.
Hull's worst home form in the division.
I know, against the worst away side, so it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Derby,
0-0, yeah.
Derby have still got to
Put your
play
bets on.
5 at the bottom 6.
Yeah, but their heads are in the well. Even the fans are giving up. If the fans are giving up, then you're in the.
Well, John Eustace going to go to Blackburn next week, I think, away.
Yeah, that's going to go well.
I know.
They're going to get probably mauled, aren't they? So
yeah, next week or the week after, within the next 10 days, they've got them.
So I left this. Oh yeah, I love the actual name, but I left this comment coming in. I won't read the name out.
So, what's it say?
So from Dan Gleesack. So yeah, because we're coming on to this now, I've left this comment until this point. But has everybody got their Man City ticket, or are you playing the dangerous game of waiting for level 2 to open? So I've got my ticket. Gavin, have you sorted yours?
Well, I paid for mine before my 2 before the tickets were even formally announced, and I still haven't been given mine. So I don't know if that means they're going to wait to give me a level 2 ticket, or whether August is just really slow.
Get on the phone tomorrow and double check. Andy, I know you've got yours, haven't you? Yeah, Marcus,
mine,
you?
Yeah, I've got mine.
Yeah, Carl?
I haven't. No, I've got to wait until Tuesday for Sophia's priority level to come up.
In tier 2, mate. You'll be
I've
fine.
got to wait.
Yeah, fair enough. And Steve?
Tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah, so
sorry, Mike. Do you know what's really interesting? I asked Laura Leesmore. I said, just send me the packages for hospitality. I thought it's going to be expensive, but it's not going to be, So the Wembley day was about $350 a ticket, I think.
No, okay.
Right, for hospitality. The cheapest ticket for hospitality.
Can we take a punt?
Yeah, so there's a range.
£600.
Yeah, £665 is the cheapest. The most expensive is £1,550 per person.
Whoa! I wonder they're making money.
Well, as the Block 9 isn't quite that successful yet,
they know where they can
quite afford those packages.
Say again, Marcus?
They know where they can shove that.
Well, I thought it'd be about 400 quid, right? And I thought, okay, 400 quid. Yeah, okay, I'll stomach that. It's Wembley-ish with a bit of inflation. The cheapest one, which is probably equivalent to about our diamond, was £665.
That's mad, isn't it?
They must have got some cracking prawn sandwiches up there.
Yeah, you have to give the due though in terms of the match tickets themselves are well priced. So
they're very good, 20 quid.
So that's good. I sort of had a bit of a panic, and then I sort of went, I haven't done my ticket yet on Friday, and then went in and did it, and didn't really pay attention to my selection. And Andy said, you're further away from us, and he thinks that was accidental. No, but I'm right up.
He's way at the back.
very
He's getting
PP or
confidence.
something.
Mike,
But
rumour has it that you're getting a Sherpa to meet you halfway up the stairs to get
with
you
an
to the very
oxygen
top.
tank.
That's what I heard.
I was in a similar recall at the in the Arsenal game that time. Actually, what a stadium that is as well. So yeah, no. So I mean, looking forward to it. At least it's secure. It's going to be a great game. But yeah, what do you do? So it's an interesting one. This one, I think. And I was listening to the Pilgrims podcast on the way home, and Tom made a good point where they were discussing it, and pit this out obviously to you guys. But how can you turn around and tell these players that I'm going to rest you and not use you after what they did against Liverpool, what they did, some of them as well against Brentford, to get us to this stage? Yes, the league is so important. We all know that. But it's like, these are the games that you as a manager, you as a player, you as a fan, live for. And I just can't see us doing anything but going out there with our strongest starting 11.
Also, with Man City losing today, got to play on Wednesday. They ain't going to field the first team to get into the top 4.
Yeah, I can't quite work out if you're scratching your ear there, Marcus. I think you were.
You're talking about scratching his ear.
So Marcus, I'll stay with you. Hopefully, you can hear this one clearly now. What would you change? What's your thoughts on resting players or keeping that strong 11?
Well, if I was in Murray's position, I wouldn't drop Katic because he'll nut him.
He'll lose a tooth.
Pushkas I would drop. I would definitely start with Mumba instead of Wright.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
I would probably. Well, Ian very big, so I'll probably rest Randall because he ain't gonna argue with Miron. So probably play Boateng.
Yeah, alongside JB.
And I would probably rest Sarnoda and put Ogbet in.
It's so I wouldn't rest Soranola. I mean, he had Diaz in his back pocket, to coin the phrase. I just think that lad has done so much recently that I think he deserves that starting in the game. I don't disagree with you on Malachi Boateng and say JB in the middle. I think strength.
I think when you see Doku playing today, how he was skidding Trent time and time again, you need someone like Soranola there to just be in his face.
There's only one man for that, and his name's Joseph Edwards.
Oh, yeah, there's that as well.
Yeah,
there is that as well, but I don't think he hasn't got the pace against Doku. That's for sure. No.
Do you remember that quick player? He wound it up and he started scrapping with him. Joe Edwards did. Who was that? He was winding him up. He's hell of a quick.
I know what you say. I can't think of the player now.
No idea.
Wasn't it Leicester last year where he had him on toast? Can't remember.
Hardie, wasn't it? Was it Hardie?
No,
he ended up feeding him to the floor, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember that.
Bit of rough and tumble.
So while someone goes away and Googles that to find out, Carl, as you sort of came in there, what are you thinking? I think I wouldn't disagree with the Mumba Wright thing, even though Wright will probably hate that, but that's probably a fair shout, certainly, and even resting Randall, but he's our goal through and through, and that's another massive game. It's going to be hard to tell your captain until Edwards comes back that I'm not going to start you.
Yeah, I definitely won't change it too much. I think wholesale changes would be a bad idea. I know we need to give some fringe players some extra minutes, but I don't think we can change it massively. Like you said, a lot of these players played against Liverpool and Brentford, so to rip the Man City game away from them would be harsh. I'll keep the back three the same. I'll be tempted.
Powson?
Yeah, I'll go for Powson. I think he deserves his spot, especially against Brentford, where he was immense.
Physical as well.
Let's be honest, physical. Yeah, I wouldn't change the back three. Would I keep Hazard? I think I'd be tempted to go for Grimshaw for some strange reason.
Really?
back.
Hang on. Can we
on,
check
no.
your temperature,
Yeah,
Carl?
no. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just to give Hazard a bit of a break. I don't
Give
know
that man
why.
a whiskey.
Does he respectfully though? And I do not mean this to downgrade keepers because that's how I used to play. But it's like, do you really need to rest Hazard as much? I don't think you do. And so
Well, he's had an injury as well, isn't he? I just thought maybe a game off.
Too many games.
Yeah, because he's
we can rest though.
Yeah, and obviously Grimshaw being ex-City as well, isn't he? So he might want to play in that game.
You'll probably let him win.
I
I
agree
don't
with
mean that
Marcus
horribly.
about Pukac. I'd probably rest him because he looked knackered against Cardiff, and maybe bring in better in. I kind of agree with that. I would go along with Sorinola. I think we need his heart and dedication at the back. In midfield, again, I agree. Bringing Boateng in alongside JB. Randall needs a massive rest. I know that's going to be hard on him being a Plymouth boy. He probably wants to play that game, being the captain, but I just fear it's just another game too much for him. I'd rather have him fitter for Hull than City, and then maybe bringing in TJ up front with probably. Oh, good question. Barley Mumba in behind with probably Al Haj, I would say.
Al Haj?
Yeah, I wouldn't go with Wright or Beidou.
No. But what about Bundu? Did you mention Bundu?
No, TJ.
No. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go above you, Gavin. What are you thinking? Because it's that forward line, isn't it, where we're going to be lacking.
I've also gone Grimshaw in goal.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
interesting.
There we go.
Okay, so Carl and I must be thinking alike. Back three of.
I love this comment. Sorry.
What did it say? The rest on Saturday.
Yeah, fair play.
So Grimshaw in goal, Maxi, Katic, and I've gone Such for extra pace. And I think I would much prefer Paulson in a dogfight on a Tuesday night than marauding around Man City's ground on Saturday. I've better left wing back. I've gone Edwards right wing back.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you give him 50, 60 minutes. It means he's then 2 games on bounce, but he's ready for Hull. JB and Boateng, I've done exactly the same in the midfield. As we said off air, I love the fact you can have 2 6'5" plus athletic midfielders, one that likes to drive the ball up the pitch and one that loves getting his foot in. And I think Boateng's Houghton, but better. That's my honest opinion. And then up front, I have gone. This is going to upset a few people.
Ben Wayne.
No. I've gone Bally Mumba right 10. Left 10, I've gone Rami Al Haj. And in the 9, I've gone Beidou.
Oh, wow. Because
I think they'll interchange. We need to give them a run. Then there's no physicality like playing against Millwall or Luton, or it's going to be, don't watch much of the Premier League, I watch some of it. It's not I'm going to lump you up, up into the stands. The centre backs in the Premier League seem to be very anti-contact, so I think it'll play into Beidou, Al Hajis. They'll get the ball to feet a bit more, and it'll stop us just hoofing it up there and going, it's gone over my head again. So that's my team, and I think that gives some key players maybe some bench time, but to give them. If it was me this week, I'd take this like in a rugby term, the Lions tour. I'd have my Saturday team and my Wednesday team, right? And they would train separately, and you'd be interchanging the odd person, but actually you'd know what that weekend side was and what that Saturday side was. And going back to the point of Argyle legends and Randall and I'll just ask them a simple question, setting them down. Do you want your salary to decrease next year when we're in League One, or would you like to carry on earning your championship salary?
No, I think so. There's a few things that certainly where you just mentioned about the Premier League defenders, it did look like City's back line for Liverpool's second goal today didn't want to get touched by anybody. The way that they just sat back and brilliantly worked goal. No pressure on Liverpool's strikers at all for that. And obviously for that third that was then ruled off outside, they were split into again there, and I think so. I can sort of see, Beidou with his pace to sort of like break free, could create those opportunities. Andy, what are you saying to that? Beidou up front from Gavin. Malachi Boateng, though, when I saw him come on as a sub against, was it the West Brom game, he looked impressive for me in that short spell. I don't know how he looked yesterday to you. So is that a good shout?
Malachi Boateng, yeah, he'd be good in the middle there. I'm not sure with JB though. I'd rather have someone like Houghton in there with him. Don't know why. Heriton seems to have more control than JB at the minute.
But then you've got two
Edwards-
defensive players, Andy, then haven't you? You haven't got one who's going to go forward. You've got two.
I think we're going to do a lot of
holding.
defending.
Yeah, fair enough.
In my opinion, I think we're going to do a fair bit of defending. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Boateng, I think Boateng, can he play a bit further forward? I don't know. But I'd certainly have. I don't know if I'd have JB in there because he tends to do a lot of running up front, but does he track back a lot? With the guys at the back, I'm going to go with. I'm going to say drop in Maxi. This is controversial, right?
Ooh.
He's got a lot of running around, that boy. He's put himself on the line quite a few times, and he's going to have a lot of minutes played as well.
Did he look tired? So Andy, did him or Katic look tired? I didn't ask this earlier. Did they look tired
I don't
yesterday?
think they did, no. But I just think both of them, since they've been at the club, they've been running the socks off for the club and putting a shift in. I just think I wouldn't give them the full 90 minutes. I'd probably bring them on for the last half hour, maybe.
They're prime athletes, though, Andy, aren't they? Those two are prime athletes.
They are great athletes, mate. But you sort of want, I was going to say a tiring Man City side, but you're not going to get very tired. You know, having to play against someone like, you know, Taliov or Taliov. I'd have Souks, Paulson, and probably I'd go for Katic at the back and just leave. Just give him a break, give the guy a break, and then I'd have started off better on the left than Edwards, and bring Joe Edwards in for half an hour maybe, and then change it up front. So yeah, man, Beidou, he's got it. TJ, could you have TJ and Beidou?
It's the momentum, though, Andy, isn't it? With him getting the goal,
it's momentum, yeah. But
starts him against Hull then in a dogfight where he's.
Well, he did.
I'd rather have TJ, like you're saying, Gav. I'd rather have someone like TJ in there and Mumba, not Mumba, Bundu, for a Hull game, you know, because they're going to be the two target men with Mumba in behind them. So
yeah, I think TJ did say in his post-match in the press conference that, you know, he admitted he's about 90% fit. He said he's sort of been struggling to get up to that, you know, but he's only 90% fit. Obviously, as you would expect with a striker, you know, Muslich pointed it out. You know, TJ said his confidence has gone, you know, so big, you know, now getting the goal, and however you get the goal, you know, he still worked hard to get into the spot at the right time to receive the header, you know, so that definitely will help.
Yeah, involved in the game, but I just don't think he'll go the full 90. I'd rather have him for the Hull City game where he's a target man.
Yeah, it could be a disruptive sub again. I think, Steve, you know, coming to you, I think what's interesting in this game is I think there's an opportunity to, you know, I don't disagree with some of the suggestions made. You know, I think, you know, Randall's going to be a tough conversation. You know, even if you put it the way Gavin is, as you said, for him to not be involved. Any of those players that have got us to, you know, this game, it's going to be a difficult one. What I think will be interesting is, you know, depending on how the game pans out, at least we have got some sub options. You know, so you know, there is that ability to chop and change if we're on the ascendancy, and there's a chance though, and we look like we might be getting that chance. He's going to obviously possibly stick with it. If it ends up being a difficult one and Man City are all over us and go 2-3-0 up, then at least you would then change it, wouldn't you, to rest some of these players. But how would you field and what changes would you make on that Saturday game?
Well, I'm going to be controversial. As you saw in my team selection earlier,
yeah,
I'm going to drop Katic and I'm going to drop Maxi.
Yeah. Well, we're going to lose 5-0. Other than that, gents, brilliant.
I'm going to play Pleggy, Suits, and Paulson at the back.
Is Pleggy fit though? Would Pleggy be fit enough?
Yeah, Pleggy's fit. Pleggy was on the bench Saturday. He's fit.
He was on the bench.
Yeah, it's good to see them.
He's ready to play.
Fair play. I never thought Pleggy. I really would rest Taliverov and Katic for the whole game. I'd rather have them there. But yeah, sorry, Steve.
Yeah, because Pleggy, when he played in that, before he got injured, he didn't really put a foot wrong, did he?
I think, Steve, I can understand your thought process. I don't think I could drop both. I think if you have Katic or Maxi there with Pleggy, because they've played with each other as well, I think just that would give that experience and that sort of dynamic, I think, where you could then maybe lose one. I wouldn't, but you could probably lose one, but not both.
Maybe maybe play Katic and leave Baxi on the bench this time.
Yeah. Then what would you do in midfield?
I'll play Boateng and I will play JB.
Yeah.
In the wing backs, I will give Joe Edwards 45 minutes. Bring on Saranola at half time.
Right. Yeah.
And I will play Otibega at left wing back.
Yeah.
And then behind, I will play on the right as a 10, I will play Bali Mumba.
Yeah.
Beidou on the other side, and Tijani up top.
Yeah. Okay. So Bailey getting 2 votes from Gavin and Steve. I think I'm gonna. I don't think there'll be that many changes. I think a couple, if that. And I think because he's going to want to make sure he goes with a squad that knows his game plan and sticks to that. Because I think it's going to be, obviously an all out.
I forgot the goalie.
Go on.
I'm gonna play Grinshaw.
Okay, so 3
Three
Give
votes for
Hazard
Grinshaw.
a rest.
I forgot the goalie. I was going to say Hazard as well to
So
stay
we
in
got
goal.
3 and
I
2.
would rather have Dan Holman than Grimshaw.
Well, I'm just going to go back to this comment, and he had his rest, yeah. So I think, do you know what? It's the one thing that's really sort of big with all of this, and I alluded it as we came into this segment, is it's the 5th round of the FA Cup. We beat Brentford, who had the best home record in Europe up until that point, who didn't field a weakened squad. Yes, we had to absolutely defend our arses off, but that one chance, and that this is all it could take. Liverpool again, we absolutely disrupted their play. Yes, they made 9 changes, but there was one player, as I think I saw a comment from someone that made me chuckle, where worth more than Argyle have ever paid for in players. It's and you still had some big names on there, and I think coming into Man City, who have had an up and down season. Yes, it's possibly their only chance to try and secure Champions League next season. They've got that points deduction situation, legal situation going on over their heads at the moment as well. So they are up and down. I mean, I didn't watch the whole game, and spells that I saw, they didn't look too bad. But it's one of those where we can really go in and disrupt something. But when that chance falls to whoever it falls to, they've got to put that away, because it might only be one chance. And if we can sort of hold off and grit and determination, the only danger with that is it could wear us out as well. Because if we're having to fight really hard, knowing that game on Tuesday, but you can't, as a fan, not get excited, look forward to it as the build-up starts to come. Even go and check out the Emirates Instagram. I don't know if they put it on their X. They did a little build-up video on Argyle's highlights against Liverpool and stuff. So it's all going to start to build, because it is going to be the game of focus for this weekend.
Go and get your half and half scarves as well.
Absolutely.
That's disgusting. These scarves and these shirts were absolute disgusting.
Hang on. Let me just put mine away then. So look, it's going to be a cracking day out weekend, and I think that's Voodoo, as I'm just going to come on to it next, rightly so, has said, get your score predictions in. So I will definitely put an interesting bet on this one. So Gavin, I'll go with you first, and what you saying score wise?
So Hart says 1-0 shithouse. Head says 3-1 loss. We'll get a goal.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Andy?
Right, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Argyle to win on pens.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, Marcus?
I'm going for a hat-trick of 1-0s.
Yeah,
We beat Brentford 1-0, beat Liverpool 1-0, and I think we beat City 1-0.
Oh, Jesus. We've got some positivity here tonight, boys. I wish we had this about our league form.
Yeah, exactly. What do you mean? I always am. Carl, what's your score prediction?
Again, Hart says 1-0 shithouse win, defensive, nick a goal on the break somewhere during that game, but my heart says probably 4-5-0 City.
Yeah, Steve.
I'll do what I
Ed,
said
sorry.
for the Liverpool game. I predicted Argo to lose 4-1. I got the one right, so fingers crossed. I'll say 4-1 again, and fingers crossed that Argo will win 1-0.
Okay, fair enough. And yeah, I think 1-0 is definitely the obvious bet. I think knowing how big the Tuesday night game is, I think the players are going to go out there and put a 5-1 West
Think
Brom on them and just bury Man
I think
City
we're
really early
28 to
on.
1. I
Say
think
it
they're
again.
28 to 1 or something
28
just
to
to
1.
win.
Stick a tenner on them.
In normal time, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth. I mean, I did well out of that one, obviously against Liverpool, bet responsibly and all that jazz. But yeah, no, I think on a serious note, I think 1-0 is fair. Sorry, Andy.
Gamble responsibly.
Yeah,
Well, you've
that's
got to
it.
get it right.
You sound like the TalkSport guy who does the voiceovers who looks like he smokes about 60 a day. Sounds
Ray
like
Winston.
That's
Ray
it.
Winston, yeah.
So great.
But going back to Pilgrim Petey's comment about extra time, that's one thing we really, really don't need. I don't think.
No,
It'd be fantastic if it happens, but yeah, for the blades.
Do you remember?
Players.
Speaking of Petey,
Leeds last year knocked the stuffing out of us, didn't it?
Yeah, it killed our season, didn't it? Yeah.
That finished us. That did. That extra time finished us for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
It's So are they, as Pilgrim Petey's staying up there for 4 days will also help the players with their recovery. So, do we know where they're staying or where they're going to go after the City game?
I would imagine that they might have asked Man City to borrow a training pitch or two, and they'll stay in Manchester. And if there's a good relationship with the club, which seems to be, but the thing is, Hull's East Coast, isn't it? So they'll have to travel across. Although it's only 2-3 hours.
Yeah,
is it?
I reckon Newcastle.
How far is Hull from Newcastle then?
Yeah, it's a good shout actually. Newcastle because they've got
his mates at Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the game we were up there for the game? Sunderland, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed at, was it Newcastle? So, I mean, to be fair, I prefer that we borrowed Man United's training facilities, so we haven't got any spies at the City grounds trying to see what we're up to.
Be after the game, be done.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. True. Yeah. So I think. So. That's good. I mean, that's a massive investment as well to making use of that fantastic 6 million of Morgan Whittaker to stay up there to give them that ability to rest and recuperate for that whole game. Absolutely is it's not cheap to do it. So I think it's the right thing to do though. It gives us that chance. There's no moaning then, is there? Go on,
it was really funny that Musliks made that decision in real time in the press conference because they were like, "Oh, what are we going to do?" And he just looked to his right, I think to Erin, who's the PA, and went, "We're going to stay. We're going to stay up. Of course, we're going to stay up." They said, "I feel sorry for the fans, but we'll stay up and train somewhere, and we'll make the most of it." So it looked like he did that on the fly in the press conference.
Yeah, and the CFO's there going,
"For fuck's sake, Miron, you've just cost me another 30 grand or whatever it's going to cost them to."
Well, I mean,
we're going to get a big payday though, guys.
Well, yeah. Yes. What is the value? Wasn't it 200 odd grand against Liverpool?
Yeah, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be near the million plus because of ticket
750
sales and teams on TV.
I've heard that the entire cut run's worth about 1.5 to 2 million.
It'll be more than that. So I tell you, we did. Is it Argo statistician or Argo
analysis? Argo analysis, I think.
Did a quite, and he was pretty accurate, I thought actually. So shout out to him. I think there was about total gains against Liverpool was probably about 450 grand. So take 50 off for stewards and bits, probably 200 grand each. And that includes the TV, normally about 100k, and it's on the main terrestrial TV channel. Up there, I think total gains for the day are going to be with everything else, going to be about 2 million quid. So we'll probably about 1.8. I think we'll make about 900k on the day.
Yeah,
so if they can't afford to say, "Oh, well, here's some hotels and a training ground for a few days," then there's a real problem, ain't there?
Well, remember, everything's Premier but the price. So there's always that. If you
Lenny Henry's cooking and breakfast.
If you get up in stay at the Premier Inn, but they're a useful and good hotel, just to point out. But no, I think that's the other underlying thing with this run, isn't it? And I would like to add, while I was gracing the Wembley Way to go and watch the fabulous Dancing on Ice on my own. No, I was with the kids and the wife.
Don't lie.
I posted that on X, and that's going to be the bit of the good luck charm that will see us go all the way. Imagine that. Imagine that. I mean, we haven't had sort of this excitement playing against massive sides. In this sort of run. It's not been an easy selection of teams, but. This is what I think you've got to now just forget the league for another week, because you should just drive yourself mad and do your head in and just focus on the FA Cup game.
Mate, whatever you've had, I want 2 of them, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just remember that 1984 season when we got to the semi-final, right? We beat some good sides then, but we nearly got relegated, so we have to really watch out for that as well. I'd rather stay in the league than go to any FA Cup final.
Did you go to Villa Park, Andy?
Yeah, for the Park, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Heartbreak, mate, wasn't it?
I was 13 years old.
Kevin Hodges. I was.
Andy was 30 then.
Cheeky boys.
He's aged well.
What year was it, Andy? 1980 what, sorry?
1984, 83-84 season under
84.
I was 3 or 4 years old then, so there you go. Sorry, but look, it's you do feel even if we lose, you can walk away, from that going, what a run still, and then they can just say, okay, yeah, look, we're focusing now straight back on the league. If you get through to the round, then there's going to be another great positive. I mean, winning is infectious, isn't it? So if you, as they say, if we can get that momentum and keep that going, then Tintin, thanks, Carl. Then it's then why not? Yeah, Carl's referring to obviously an emoji.
What we don't want is to go up there and get destroyed, and then that affect our league form as well. It could happen. It could happen, but go on, Gavin.
Well, look, I don't think I'm going to absolutely clip this up now. I'm going to be battered, but I don't think we'll get battered by any team under Miran Mislic, right? And I'll caveat those who go, Burnley, we got nobbled. Yeah, Burnley we got nobbled because A was in, B, I think the team were in 3-4 because Morgan Whittaker decided not to turn up for the work, even though he, just for the record, was agreed to be on the bench that day. So take that game as an anomaly. It's done, right? Half-time onwards. I can't see us get, even by Man City, I can't see us getting battered, right? I can't. However, I can see us being competitive with I think the block's going to get lower and lower and lower, in which case we might as well have Hazard and Grimshaw maybe playing on Saturday if it gets any lower than it has been. But I don't think we're going to get battered. I really don't. 3-1, I think, would be a good day at the races. Players will with good moments who haven't been in the side, maybe a Beidou goal or something. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
It could well be the most random sort of a players to get that.
JB to score against his own side
in the 89th minute.
Grimshaw up in the last minute to score a header against his own side.
Yeah.
Or JB to score against his own side.
The problem is will Grimshaw be able to out-jump the defenders to try and get to that header?
That's why you want Hazard in goal. He's a great shot stopper.
Yeah, it's it's exciting to look forward to. Back to I had 2 days off end of last week. Back to a busy week of work.
Just clip that. He's a fucker, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just clip that.
Did put that up on the screen. I did wonder if you noticed it or not. So now he's getting good at these videos, you see, Gavin. But yeah. No, so just on as we sort of come to the end, an hour and 40 minutes nearly in. So just to reiterate, I said about it earlier, we are looking to do a bit more with what we do with the Block 9 podcast. These things aren't easy to organise and set up, but we love doing it. And we've decided that we want to look at bringing another angle to things. So starting this Thursday coming, we are going to launch the Block 9 Live Lounge. So that'll be a Thursday night. So going to be from 9 o'clock. You know, once everybody who's got kids have got them into bed, grab a drink, sit down, and we're gonna choose a few topics, and we'll sort of go into them in a bit more detail. You know, but we want to keep it also a bit free flowing as well, and bring anyone else that's watching tonight, any other fans that want to come in and say a bit about their team, not just Argyle. You know, we would like to open it up as we move along with that. So yes, that'll be Thursday nights from 9 p.m. The Block 9 Live Lounge, you know, more relaxed but still, you know, football talk. So come and join us for that. If you do want to come in, then either send one of us a DM or even DM the Block 9 account. Either way, we monitor those and pick them up, and then we can share the link, and we'll do that as well on the night. So yes, there's something different to look forward to. You might have all of us in there. You might have different guys depending on what commitments we all have. I know Andy said he can't make that first one, which is a shame, but he'll make many more as we go forward with that. Also, merchandising, yes, we've got that coming. I know I keep saying it every week, but it's getting there. So me and my brilliant wife is getting bits ready for that. So we'll bring that along to you soon, as well, as a few of you keep on asking. And the mugs do look really cool, don't they, gents? So there'll be a few mugs, coasters, and we'll see what else we can do to bring along to it. So hope you've all enjoyed the session tonight. It's been a really good one. So Gavin, thank you for that from yourself. Andy, also you. Marcus, always chilled and laid back as usual. Carl, with his Superman mueslich in the background.
Super moves.
Super moves. Yeah.
And Steve, who's come in at the end with his work commitments, and it's good to have you in. So look, everybody, thank you for watching. Please give us a like and a follow on our YouTube account, on our X account, on our Facebook. You can find us all there, and also give each of the guys a follow as well. So other than that, we shall let you get on with your Sunday nights, and we'll see what happens on Tuesday for Hull and Cardiff, and then we'll catch you then on the Live Lounge on Thursday. Take it easy, folks.
Take it easy, guys.
So,
Bye.
Thank you, guys.